This wasn't revealed by accident. It was decoded. Before the venue, before the date, before the headlines, SB19 planted the ending in plain sight, hidden in symbols, embedded in lyrics, whispered through performances across continents. Now, it's official. Wakas and Simula, the trilogy finale, will happen at the SMDC Festival grounds, April 18th. For ATIN, this isn't just a concert update, it's a homecoming. It's the closing of an era called Ikalawang Yugto, and it's proof that SB19 doesn't announce milestones, they orchestrate them. Stay tuned, because the truth is closer than you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to catch every clue as it drops. SB19 didn't simply reveal a location, they confirmed what fans already felt was inevitable. After the final stop of their Simula at Wakas World Tour, the energy shifted. The silence wasn't absence, it was anticipation. ATIN sensed that something bigger was being prepared, something that couldn't be rushed or casually revealed. When the venue was finally announced, it didn't shock, it clicked. Months of speculation, cryptic symbols, and carefully placed hints suddenly aligned into one clear truth. This finale had been planned far in advance. That's why this moment feels earned. SB19 didn't chase attention, they controlled the narrative. This wasn't promotion, it was closure, a deliberate confirmation that an era was ending on their terms, with precision, confidence, and respect for the journey that led here. Choosing the SMDC Festival grounds isn't a logistical decision, it's a statement of scale. This is a venue reserved for landmark events, built for artists who can command massive crowds and justify large-scale production. Not every act is trusted with this space. SB19 is. An outdoor venue of this magnitude demands confidence. Confidence in ticket demand, in performance power, and in audience loyalty. It matches where SB19 stands now, no longer testing limits, but occupying them. For a trilogy finale, this choice makes sense. You don't close a defining chapter in a confined space. You do it where sound travels, visuals expand, and moments become collective memory. To the industry, the message is unmistakable. SB19 isn't rising anymore. They've arrived, and they're headlining on their own terms. April 18th wasn't chosen for convenience. It was revealed by design. Long before any official announcement, the month of April appeared under the word Wakas in SB19's coded message, quietly signaling the end long before it arrived. When the date was finally confirmed, it didn't feel new. It felt fulfilled.
This detail exposed something important. This finale wasn't assembled after the tour. It was mapped alongside it. The timeline proves long-term planning, not reactive scheduling. SB19 didn't look for an empty date on a calendar. They aligned a moment with meaning. By anchoring the finale to a pre-hinted timeline, SB19 reinforced their reputation for deliberate storytelling. Fans now understand that nothing surrounding Wakas at Simula is accidental. Every reveal is a checkpoint in a narrative that has been unfolding exactly as intended. SB19 didn't announce the finale in plain language. They invited fans to uncover it. The alphabet symbols hidden in the Damn music video weren't decoration, they were clues. And instead of confusion, they sparked collaboration. ATIN didn't wait to be told. They decoded the message together. This approach reflects deep trust. SB19 assumes their audience is attentive, intelligent, and emotionally invested enough to connect the dots. That trust transforms fans into participants, not just consumers. By letting the story unfold through symbols and shared discovery, SB19 extended the experience beyond music and performance. It became interactive storytelling, part of their identity as artists. Long before any official post, fans were already engaged, theorizing, and emotionally committed. When the confirmation arrived, it didn't start excitement, it rewarded it. Perth wasn't just the final stop of the Simula at Wakas World Tour, it was the first signal of closure. After performing across 19 cities, SB19 didn't end the tour with a simple goodbye. Instead, they released a cryptic message that reframed the entire journey. In that moment, the world tour stopped being a conclusion and became a bridge. Those 19 cities weren't about expansion anymore. They were proof. Proof of global readiness, of consistent demand, and of an audience that extends far beyond borders. By ending the tour before launching the finale chapter, SB19 showed restraint and clarity. The trilogy finale isn't meant to regain momentum, it's meant to harvest it. SB19 closed every loop first, ensuring nothing was unfinished before allowing a new era to begin. When Ken mentioned a homecoming during SB19's performance at ATIN 2025 in Taiwan, it didn't sound casual, it sounded intentional. For fans watching abroad, the word carried weight. It suggested that something massive wasn't ending overseas, but returning where it all began. That single hint shifted how ATIN interpreted everything that followed. The finale began to feel less like an ending and more like a return with purpose. Bringing Wakas at Simula back to the Philippines transformed the event into a moment of grounding, not retreat. The SMDC festival grounds become symbolic home soil, a place where global success is brought back and shared. For overseas ATIN, this carries emotional payoff. Proof that no matter how far SB19 travels, the story always circles back home. SB19's EP trilogy was never just a release schedule, it was a creative roadmap. Coming marked growth, Pagtatag established stability, and Simula at Wakas brought reflection and resolution. Together, these chapters form what the group calls Ikalawan Yugto, a second phase defined by artistic control and identity. Ending this trilogy with a live finale gives the music permanence. Songs that once existed as recordings now become shared memory, experienced collectively rather than privately. It transforms the trilogy from content into legacy. This is SB19 deliberately closing a creative cycle instead of letting it fade. By choosing a finale rather than a quiet transition, they honor the work, the risks, and the evolution behind it. This isn't about moving on quickly, it's about finishing properly with intention and respect. When SB19 debuted in 2018 under Show BT Philippines, the industry saw promise but not power. That came later, earned through years of pressure, skepticism, and relentless performance. In 2023, the group made their most defining move yet, founding 1Z Entertainment, taking ownership of their careers and creative direction.
That's why this finale hits harder. Wakas at Simula isn't being staged under an external system, it's happening under their own company. Every decision, from timing to venue, reflects autonomy. This is a full circle moment. Artists who once followed structures are now building them. The trilogy finale becomes proof of independence, not just financially, but creatively. SB19 isn't closing an era they survived. They're concluding one they designed, led, and controlled from within. The end of second phase doesn't signal uncertainty, it signals freedom. By closing the trilogy deliberately, SB19 clears creative space for what comes next. No unfinished chapters, no lingering obligations. The slate is intentionally clean. With the trilogy complete, new possibilities open. Different sounds, larger concepts, and bolder scale. This is the point where evolution becomes optional and therefore powerful. The industry is paying attention, not to what SB19 just achieved, but to what they choose to do after proving they can close an era properly. SB19 is no longer chasing eras defined by others. They're designing phases on their own timeline.
This finale isn't a pause between projects, it's a pivot point, one that resets expectations and positions their next move as a decision, not a reaction. Fans will remember exactly where they were when the venue was revealed, not because it trended, but because it meant something. This announcement carried the weight of years, not minutes. It marked the moment when SB19's second era was officially sealed into history. The SMDC Festival grounds won't just host a concert, it will become part of the group's narrative, a physical place where growth, independence, and resolution converged. Long after the lights go down, this location will be referenced as the stage where Ikalawang Yugto was completed the right way. That's why Wakas at Simula doesn't feel like goodbye, it feels like elevation. An ending strong enough to stand on its own, and a beginning powerful enough to justify everything that comes next.